me your ear. I got something you need to hear. Turn the volume up so it's loud and clear. A podcast where we talk about politics and culture, unscripted, no limits. Like a na-na-na, so do not pretend this with no agendas. Our only plan is to keep it 100. Do it for the fam, yeah. What up, what up, what up?
What's going on, man?
Chilling. 6 mil, keeping it trill.
It's your boy KG.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of For the Fam Podcast. So, got a question for you today, brother.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. At least I think it's interesting. One that requires some thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you could start your own country, a Wakanda or a Ramunda, how would you set it up? What would your country be like? Your utopia, so to speak.
I'll admit, when you first mentioned it and we started talking about it on the phone, it caught me off guard because I realized that there were some things that I thought one way, and it took me a second. I had to step back saying, oh, okay, well,
Yep.
This is my country. I need to figure out a way to protect, the people in the country. But, I mean, there's different, you have to obviously have a system, your values, what's your economy going to be based upon, what type of culture would you have, how will you defend yourself, and as far as immigration, are you an open border, are you a closed border, what is the path to citizenship in your country? So it was interesting. It definitely was an interesting thing to try to put together.
Yep. I agree, and I'm gonna have to say the and excuse me for all of the throat clearing, y'all. The one that I struggled with the most, my internal conflict, was the immigration piece, and we'll get into it as we go on. But my internal conflict came from just based on history. When we think of colonization, it was just like, I mean, y'all know where I'm going with this. Do I want them to come to my country or not? I mean, because history have shown us it doesn't end well for the natives. Right. So that was the one thing that I struggled back and forth with. But let's get into it,
Cool. Where you want to start? So we got, just the overall system itself. Like how do you want it to operate from the top to the bottom? Are we electing a president? Do you have a council? So on and so forth.
Let's start there. Yeah. Me personally, I think I'm going to cherry pick from a lot of different successful nations. I can't have it both ways, but because it's mine, I'm gonna have it both ways. I'm gonna have sort of a monarchy and sort of democracy and some socialism. So what do I mean by all of that? I think we will have elections, but I think I would have the veto power. There are some things that just are non-negotiable. I don't think we'll have as many levels of government, for instance, like the U.S. have. I think there's too many levels of government, which makes things complicated and just more bureaucratic red tape that you have to deal with in order to get things done. But I do think that the people should have some say-so.
I agree.
So yeah, that's sort of how mine would be structured, at least from that instance.
So for mine, I've got 3 different sections. So I've got elders, people who are innovators in the society, and community leaders chosen by merit. That's just one section. And then we have someone who is somewhat of a symbolic leader, like a head of state, and they're going to represent us globally. So they'll go
an ambassador, so to speak.
Right.
Okay.
So they'll go out and represent us. And then as far as the citizens go, because this country, and of course we'll get more into this as we go along, the citizens will vote on key issues to advance tech. So that way you don't have 6-hour waits in line. Everybody's verified. Everybody's, whatever system we're using is verified. So we know the vote is legit.
Does everybody get a vote?
Yes.
Your vote cannot be taken away.
No.
I agree with that 100%.
No.
Everybody gets a vote.
Right. It cannot be taken away.
I agree with that. Everyone gets a vote regardless of your history, background, etc. Everyone gets a vote. I agree with that. Now, I have to say, going forward, keep in mind, I am a Bible-fearing man. So a lot of my views are going to be somewhat based on the Ten Commandments and biblical scriptures. So that's why I was saying I struggled with the immigration. Because biblically, you have to let people come in.
Well, you got to think like this too. We're two people who I believe that we're both level-headed. So when we talk about some of the things we're going to talk about, we're not just saying these things were going to happen. They are going to happen.
Oh, for sure.
So we're not going to say, hey, here's healthcare. Just kidding. It's only for certain people. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
If we say healthcare is free to the citizens of the country, it just is what it is.
It is what it is.
And that cannot be taken away.
Yeah. Before we get too deep in the woods, to the listeners, we may take the whole hour and just discuss this topic. Or if we have time, we may get into some of the other segments, but just want to put it out there. We did not forget about the other segments. We'll try and get to them, but if we don't, then we'll just stay on this topic and maybe even do a part 2 to this. So depending on how this conversation goes, how long it goes, so we'll try and get to some other segments, but this is a good one. It may just take up like a whole hour, maybe even longer. I mean, we'll just see how the conversation progresses. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, so what's the next one you want to like get deep into?
So I think the core values. So you have to have core values, as far as your citizens go. So for me, I have 4 different bullet points, so to speak. Every citizen is treated with dignity. So basically unity and respect. Community first. Wealth and resources are shared, so no one is left behind. Call me a socialist if you want. It is what it is. Innovation for the people. Technology serves citizens, not the corporations. So when the technology is put out there, if the corporations used, let's say, $1.50 per citizen to make it, we're not going to turn around and charge people $200 a month to use it.
Right.
You're going to get it at a low rate.
Right.
If not free.
Right.
And diplomacy over war.
Definitely.
So the first option is negotiation, but our defense is unmatched.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
The first option, obviously, is negotiation. We'll get more into that in some of the other sections of the country, but it's always the first option. And once I explain it, I think you'll understand why it is the first option.
Yeah. So my core values, like I said, I'm a Bible-fearing man. So my core values, our belief system is going to be based upon the 10 Commandments. Point blank, period. End of story. Which, I mean, when you cut through all of the layers, the American value system is based on the 10 Commandments. So I'm not trying to model or make another America, but it just is what it is at this point. So yes, my core system belief will be the 10 Commandments. As far as like getting into the people and the economy and all of that kind of stuff, I agree. Socialism, free healthcare across the board, period. No pre-existing conditions, none of that stuff matter. You're getting free healthcare. It is a right. You will not lose your vote. No matter what you've done, you will not lose your vote. But there is a caveat to that, and we'll get into that as we go along. Also, you're getting at least 2 years of college free. Now, if you want to extend your education beyond that, you want to get a master's or a doctorate or become an expert in your field, that would be on you, but there'll be a cap on tuition. Let's put it like that. Your tuition will not rise like some of these colleges in America where your tuition now is unaffordable. So those are like some and I know we're going to get to the economy, but
It's next.
it's next. Okay, then I'll just transition into it. So with my economic system is going to be loosely based on capitalism. And when I say loosely, I believe in a free market,
Mhm.
but there will not be a monopoly. Also, productivity will maintain a comparable level with wages. For instance, here in America, since the 1960s, 1970s, productivity has increased exponentially, while wages have remained stagnant or have seen little, and I emphasize the little growth. Wages also have not kept up with inflation. So there's going to be caps on the capitalism.
Mhm.
The workers will always get a fair percentage of the profits. You can't do that. I can. This is my this this
Yeah,
this
it's
is
my
this
damn
is this is
country.
my country. Yeah, I can. So that's how it's going to work. So yeah, that's just how I feel, about like as far as economics at a base level, and we can as we get on, we'll start getting into how we're going to pay for all of this stuff as we get deeper into it. But yeah, let me hear your economic plan.
All right, so my country will be one of the leading global exporters, and one of these I stole from the state we live in now. Will be one of the leading exporters of things like soybeans,
Mm-hmm.
apples,
Mm-hmm.
corn. Our agriculture system, advanced farming technology, AI driven irrigation, vertical farming, and then of course drone assisted harvesting, which is what I mean that's used now as well. So it's not like it's something new. The exporting of crops, funds, the universal wealth programs, and the innovation. So as far as like you mentioned tuition, I'm giving 2 years no tuition. Everybody is going to have an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to have at minimum an
Mm-hmm.
associate's degree,
Mm-hmm.
and that exporting of those goods will help pay for that. Our food is not weaponized. So instead, as an agricultural power, we promote peace and diplomacy
Mm-hmm.
with that. So we're not going to hold food over your head
Mm-hmm.
as a ways to, let me move on before I get into a different subject. No national cuisine, but we will have festivals kind of based around our national exports, like the soys, apple, and
Mm-hmm.
corn. So that'll be like part of our cultural identity.
So let me go back and say, in my mind, my country is in Africa.
Mhm.
So
It's funny because when I was doing this, I never said it's in Africa,
yeah,
but
yeah,
everything I typed insinuated, oh
yeah.
yeah, this is on the other side. Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah, 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 yeah. I just want to say it for the record. I want to make it clear that my country is in Africa, which means we will have a majority black population.
Right.
So,
Oh, that come next. That's the culture.
okay, cool, cool. So, as far as like our resources,
Hmm.
well, we already know that Africa is the most mineral rich continent. So, we got minerals to export, right? I mean, think about it now. The only reason why Africa as a continent isn't a global power is because the Europeans, the Asians have come.
Colonization.
There you go. They've come in and chopped up the land, and they're the ones who are profiting from all the minerals
Mhm.
instead of the natives, instead of the people, the indigenous people of Africa. So, in my country, there's none of that. And in fact, you won't even own land.
So for those wondering, if you want a quick history lesson, just Google the De Beers Corporation and the years and years of. I mean, I don't even have to say, but just it's a very interesting read to hear about the De Beers Corporation and the diamond mines in Africa.
Right, right. So that's one is we're going to have minerals and like the cobalt, for instance, right?
Hmm.
How lithium batteries and cell phones and everything needs cobalt.
Hmm.
That's only in Africa. So that country right now isn't profiting off of that precious mineral, but they should be. So that will not be an issue in my country.
Yeah.
We're going to profit off of the land. We're going to profit off of the minerals in the land. So that's one export we're going to have. But you were about to get into culture.
Mhm.
So, because there's something else I'm going to tie into that culture part.
So for culture, we got 3 bullet points: sound, dress, and food.
Mm-hmm.
So the sound, I just kind of put like an Afrobeat rhythm and old school soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like our sound. Free expression without judgment
For
as far as
sure.
clothing goes. And as far as food, traditional African roots fused with futuristic food technology. And it's basically our exports are kind of infused with some of those dishes. I didn't come up with, corn,
Oh, well,
but you know what I'm saying.
no, think about it. Think about it like this, right? We would have our own cuisine anyway, had we not been brought here
Mm-hmm.
and not learned what a hamburger was, et cetera, chicken McNugget. You
I
know what
got
I'm
one
saying?
for you.
We'd have our own food anyway.
Horchata. That's a West African drink
Mm.
taken from West Africa and brought to Latin America.
Well, I got something else for you in terms of that. Capoeira,
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Brazilian in air quotes, is actually African in origin.
Yeah.
The African slaves, that was their way of learning how to defend themselves, and they incorporated the dance portion to fool the slave owners to think that they were just out there messing around, and they're actually learning how to kick some ass.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's also African. People didn't know that. But as far as the culture goes, that's also another part of my exports. Our music,
Mm-hmm.
our fashion sense, the way we dress, our slang, just our culture, period. Everyone tries to emulate our culture. Whether they admit it or not, they try and emulate our culture. So culture is definitely going to be part of the exports. Also, the NFL, majority black. Y'all coming with me. The NBA, majority black. Y'all coming with me. Baseball, not so much majority black. But when you consider how many Afro Latinas are in baseball,
Mm-hmm.
we can start our own baseball league too. So, culture, that's some of the stuff that we're going to export. Hey, look, we'll come play y'all, sell out tickets, like a World Cup
Mm-hmm.
almost. So, we're going to dominate. We're going to dominate sports. We're going to dominate track and field. You know what I'm saying? We're going to dominate culture, music. All that's going to be part of our exports. So that's another way that we're going to make money.
I think a lot of people forget too is one of the ways that you get those games like the World Cup, the Olympics, and so on and so forth is being accessible to the rest of the world.
For sure.
And showing that you can
compete
and host and actually be able to support
yes
all those hundreds of thousands of people that come to your country.
Yes.
Although a lot of countries have proven that they can't, they still get it. But ultimately, that's what it is. It should be, can you support these games?
And tourism.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's Africa. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's tourism, right? So we're going to have tourism. Yes, you can come stay, but you're not going to stay. After your vacation, pack up your stuff. See you later. Bye.
So the next step after culture is defense.
Oh, yeah.
So I had 3 bullet points on this one, too. This is where I get movie-ish. That's a new word. Advanced tech-driven defense system with AI shields and drones.
Mm-hmm.
Diplomacy, obviously, always the first response.
For sure.
And the warriors that we have in place act as peacekeepers, not aggressors.
Not soldiers, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, basically it's unmatched. So if you try to attack us, it's a wrap. If we attack you, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
So that's why we use diplomacy, because we don't want to go wiping nations out, nor do we want to conquer other nations.
For sure.
And displace people. Because once you displace people,
you're creating more enemies.
You're creating more enemies, and you also have to spend your money to help relocate those people.
Technically, you should. In today's society, You just say to hell with them,
Mm-hmm.
let them starve,
Mm-hmm.
and then tell them it's their fault.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. No, I'm with you as far as defense goes. And this may be getting ahead of ourselves, but I'm gonna just have to say it. So, like, only the military in my country will have weapons, guns, etc. Only the military. Citizens are not allowed to own a gun in my country. But my Navy, my Air Force is going to be top notch. We'll see you coming before you even realize it. Because, like I was alluding to earlier, we know what happens when those invaders come. We know what happens when those invaders come. So you're not coming. History have shown us never ends well for the natives. Which is why I don't understand why people want aliens to visit. Because it wouldn't end well for us.
And we'll talk about aliens visiting
Yes, yes,
in a little while.
yes, yeah. So yeah. I'm with you on that we will not actively start wars, but we will defend ourselves to the hilt if necessary. But diplomacy and peace is always the first option. War last, and I mean very last, after every other avenue has been exhausted. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
So now it's time for the most controversial of building your own country,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the immigration policy.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my take on it. Because when people come to your country, you want them to work, you want them to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree that people need, when you come to the country, you should do it legally. I agree with that.
For sure. 100%.
Here's the problem with that. You know what? I want a better life for myself. Let me head north across the border and create a better life. But I don't have $20,000 for this process. So what do I do? Do I just shrug my shoulders and go back home? Or do I come across the border illegally? So here's my solution to that. We welcome all immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. Anyone coming to the country to do good and legitimately be a part of the country will receive free job training, and cultural orientation will be provided
to help them integrate.
Okay. Into the system.
Or what's the other word they use? Assimilate, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So you will be given an opportunity when you get here to go ahead and get a job or for job placement. The path to citizenship is you have a resident visa, you become a community member, and then a full citizen. And that process takes 5 to 7 years.
You got deep in the woods on that, brother. I didn't even give it. I gave it thought, but not like detailed like that. I'm gonna just try and keep it simple. You are welcome.
Yeah.
Everyone is welcome, but there are limits.
So here's why I got so deep into it. Because I feel that we don't address the reasoning why there are so many illegal immigrants, not just in this country, but in other countries.
Right.
Because the process is difficult. Yeah, I went to court today. Let's say, what's today?
The 14th,
17th. Cool. When's my court date? February 3rd, 2026.
Right.
What?
Right.
Man, I'm not, man.
But that goes back to what we were saying about the levels of government.
Right.
And the red tape and how it needs to be simplified instead of convoluted.
Now, keep this in mind. What I'm saying, because I got a couple more bullet points for my immigration policy. This is set in stone. No one that I mentioned in the first section can change any of it. No one. This is it.
That's it. These are the rules.
Period.
Yeah.
So unless you plan a military coup where my advanced technology is going to snuff you out in 30 minutes, good luck. Contribution to community. So jobs are required. Volunteering is required. Most of the jobs that we help you get, other than tech job, well, not tech jobs, but like welding and and whatnot, will be in the arts and or teaching. So you have to show your value to the community. Working and going home ain't enough.
Okay.
It's just not.
Okay.
You have to show that you want to be a part of the country. Visas will be enforced fairly, but no forcible deportation.
Okay.
And we all know what I mean by forcible deportation. And every immigrant, everybody has a right to a hearing and a chance to make their case. And only then will the next steps be put in place to deport them and help them reestablish themselves where we send them.
Mm-hmm.
Not just to send them somewhere so they can sneak back
Mm-hmm.
6 months later. No. You having trouble? Now I can hear people now. Man, I ain't spending my tax dollars on putting nobody up in Latin America. Okay. Then they're gonna come back and I'm using air quotes, take this so-called job that you wanted,
Yeah.
picking raspberries that no American does.
Well, and I feel you, and like you're like way, way, way nicer than me. And I'm not saying I'm gonna be like this, man. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm gonna be like what we're experiencing today when it comes to immigration. But I will say that first, as far as like my Afro Latinas,
Mhm.
y'all welcome. Come on home. Cause y'all shouldn't be where y'all at either. So y'all welcome. Y'all can come on back home. And we can all just be one big happy family. Everybody else, yes, you're going to have to go through a process. Once you are approved, once you pass that process, you are expected to conduct yourself like everyone else. No exceptions, no exemptions. You are part of my country now. So you are one of us. So whatever our holidays are, those are your holidays now. Whatever our core values are, those are your core values now. Because we didn't draft you, you came here by choice. So you have to assimilate to our culture. You're us now. There is no, but I'm from Ireland. I'm Irish and I want to say, no. No. You go back home if you want to celebrate St. Patrick's Day and all of that. Here, we don't do St.
So you
Patrick's
don't want
Day.
them to celebrate their culture?
No,
Oh damn.
no. You're one of us now. Or you can come as a tourist. You can come visit, have fun, 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Now,
See you later. Bye.
to people listening, I want y'all to understand something. Just like when you hear people make top 10 lists, top 20 lists of their greatest athletes and so on and so forth, it's their list. These are our countries.
Right.
So
Right.
I do disagree with what my brother just said about some things. But again, it's his country.
That's right.
If I don't want to be in his country and say I'm Scottish,
And then
and it's
you
like,
can go home.
right now, I can obviously, nobody's going to kick in my door and tell me to take the Scottish flag down off the wall in the living room. But if you don't want to be there,
Then don't be here.
now come visit. We
Come
want
visit.
we
Yeah.
want you back.
Yeah. Yeah. Come visit. Come visit. But no. And here's why I'm saying that. Because those things lead to division. And I don't want division. There's there see the way I'm thinking it is, we're all one community. We're one group. We're one people. Once you become a citizen here, you're a citizen here. You're one of us now. We're welcoming you into our fold. You're in our arms. You're under our protection. You're us. If you didn't want to leave your country, then you shouldn't have left your country.
It's kind of like going back to the indigenous tribes. You can't go from one tribe to the other one and
Yeah.
change that tribe.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
part of us now.
Yeah.
And it's funny you just mentioned you had a saying because that comes next. The national symbolism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have a flag?
I don't have a flag. I didn't think of a flag and all of that. And I mean it is, I don't know. It's just not something that I thought about at this point. But yeah, it's just like, and I know it sounds sort of dictatorial.
But again, we are level-headed people having a level-headed
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
What we're saying is going to happen is
It's
going
gonna
to happen.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you're gonna know this
Mhm.
before you decide to come. And like you said, it's simple. Then don't apply for citizenship in my country. If you don't want to leave your other stuff behind, then just don't apply. I
I
said,
mean,
you can come visit.
you can visit 20, 30
Yep,
times a year if you
yep,
want to.
yep, all that. You can come visit,
Yeah.
but you cannot be a citizen. I just don't want that division. I don't want but I'm a Chinese American, but I'm a Irish American, I'm a Scottish American, because I think all of that just leads to segregation. Why do this group have to pay taxes versus this group not having to pay taxes? Everyone's getting, well, I shouldn't say everyone is getting taxed at the same rate, but there will be none of those corporate loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay your fair share of taxes. If you're in this bracket, that's what you're going to pay. And it's going to be comparable. It's going to be fair. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to raise taxes on one class and lower taxes for the other class. No, we're not doing any of that. So that's when I'm saying that I don't want your other cultures brought here, because we're one now.
Well, that's why I went so deep into the immigration policy, because I think that there are so many people, especially in this country, where never in the history of whatever word I'm thinking of have a group of rich people, super rich people, convinced the former middle class that the reason that they are no longer a middle class is because the poor people who can't afford to live where the middle class people live, the reason that they are struggling.
Yeah.
Think about the logic of that.
Yeah.
So us, I guess we would be middle class. I mean, we grew up middle class.
Sure.
And we've maintained
Sure.
some level of how we grew up. You know, the luxuries we had growing up, we've
Absolutely.
maintained them with our families. I would be an idiot to drive somewhere, say on the east side of this city, and start blaming people over there for the misfortunes of the city of Indianapolis or the state of Indiana.
Well, yes and no. And I say that to say this, because yes, we are middle class, but when you're poverty, no fault of yours, but when you are in poverty, I mean, let's just be real, you don't have to pay as much. One, because you don't have it.
Right.
When you're the super wealthy or upper, you don't pay as much because of the loopholes
But
and
some
the
of them
tax
dudes are
breaks.
paying less than the people making $13,000 a year.
So to your point, you know who ends up paying the bulk of everything?
Yeah, we do.
The middle class.
Yeah. But I'm not blaming them.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. I'm not saying it's your fault. I say if you can't afford to pay, you can't afford to pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way it's set up now is the brunt of everything falls on the middle class. And I know you got the ultra rich people who will say, nonsense, we pay more money in taxes because you got more.
Yeah. It's about percentages.
Exactly. You got more to give. You should pay more. Like, come on, man, that don't even make sense.
It's just crazy to me and I know this is about to sound silly to a lot of people, but like you're telling me that if you had 20 million and you have to pay $8 million in taxes, that you can't make $12 million work. So therefore, you're only going to pay 1 million in taxes. And then you go out, spend 30 million, borrow money somewhere else, default on it, or get forgiven for it, depending on what type of business you run. All in the meantime, blaming poor people for the horrible decisions you just made. You got 19 million and you went and bought a $16 million house.
Right.
And you know, it's funny. We always get blamed for having $300 and then spending $200 on some shoes and then 80. No. You know who spends foolishly? Rich people.
Yeah.
Rich people. I got 100 million. I'm about to go buy a castle. But you know how much castles cost?
This would be a podcast that hopefully we can do in the future when we talk about assessing value.
Mm-hmm.
How do we assess value?
Art being one of them.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. Let's get back on point here.
So I had one. I know you just said you didn't go, but man, I actually enjoyed doing this.
Yeah. So you made a flag.
Yeah, I got national symbolism as one of them. So my flag colors were gold, black, green, and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Gold for prosperity, black for strength, green for harmony, blue for peace.
Mm-hmm.
My national animal is a leopard, representing intelligence and quiet strength.
You went deep.
My motto goes back to something you said about 10 minutes ago. One light, one people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, you went deep, bro.
Oh yeah, man, I enjoyed that.
Well, just going off the dome. If I'm gonna have a national animal, it's gonna be the lion. I think lions are majestic. So it'll be a lion. As far as color scheme goes, I don't know. I'd probably go with some variation of the continent, green, black, and red. Maybe mix in some white, you know, something to that effect. I know that's not original, but it is what it is. Big deal.
Those are the colors.
Yeah. That's what we gonna rock with. Yeah, I mean that's what that's what I got for that.
Cool. I think that wraps up that portion. I think that, like I said, it was interesting when you brought it to my attention. It kind of caught me off guard because we immediately started talking about immigration right after you mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, I need to put some thought into that.
Yeah.
Because I feel, but that's why I said that my policy is there. It's written. It's there. So next time we vote somebody else in, or one of these elders or whatnot, they can't come in and say, well, out of the 200 people that work with me, 100 are immigrants, and that's just not acceptable. Nah, you either accept it or you don't. Because they're not just here for no reason. They followed the steps. They're not taking money out of your pocket. Everything that funds them and funds their training comes directly from our exports. We're not taking your tax dollars and giving it, to immigrants. Of course, we're not doing that now, but there's so many people so stupid to realize it.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, and I kind of touched on like taxes, and I don't want to get deep in the woods, because then people like, what the hell are these guys talking about? But
yeah, I didn't even do taxes.
Yeah. But how we're going to pay for things, like I said, is we're going to have a fair tax structure. And you can crunch numbers later, but if you make X amount, these are your taxes. If you make this amount, these are your taxes. If you make this amount, these are your taxes. Period. Everybody, no loopholes.
I'm gonna use an example when it comes to flat amounts. So here in the state of Indiana, your license plates for what you drive, 210. For what I drive, 105. If the car's 30 years old, $62. In Florida, how much I owe? 120. Don't matter what you drive. Now I'm just throwing that number.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You drive a Lexus, 120.
Yeah.
You drive a Kia, 120. Drive a Ford F-150, 120.
Yeah.
It's just flat.
Yeah.
I mean, you know it as well as I have. We've had cars like, I remember when my brother bought way back in the day a car in Illinois, and just across the border, 8 miles into Indiana, and he had to pay all the transfer fees and everything. He spent like $900.
Facts.
And 90 what? When did he buy that car? Like 92, 93.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And I know we've spoken about this in the past, like as far as like paying a sales tax. Then you get a state tax taken out of your income. Then you get a federal tax taken out of your income. Too many taxes. One tax is what you're going to pay. You know this is what you're going to pay. There is no debating it. If you start making more money and you move up, this is your level.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to pay. And so on and so forth. If you come down, you fall on some hard times, then hey, that's what you pay now. Across the board. It is not going to be all this convoluted mess, is what I like to call it. Actually, I like to call it something else, but I'm trying to watch my mouth. It's just. So that's why I was saying, like, some parts of capitalism I would take, and other parts I would ball up and throw in the trash. There will not be preferential treatment for millionaires, billionaires, etc. Everyone is going to be treated on the same, and what you pay is what you pay. Period. No arguments. None. I don't think I would have like a Congress or a Senate. None of that. None of that is coming.
Yeah, it'll be just like, like I said in the beginning, your community leaders chosen by mayor, your elders, people that actually know what the hell going on in the country. But yeah, no, putting a bunch of people and I got to worry about, like, I don't know. I just don't agree with paying somebody $172,000 and they work like 8 weeks.
And I mean, I get it as the population grows that you need more people to deal with people. I get it, which is what the structure is supposed to be, is, just a few people can't manage however many people are in America at this point,
Right.
or billion or whatever it's supposed to be. So I get it, but at the same time, I think it just adds too many layers of confusion, which is why we're at the point we are today, where it seems like nothing changes and nothing ever gets done, especially to help the people.
Well, when we first built our house up the street, day one move in. Now there was snow on the ground, but you could tell that part of the sidewalk was up and cracked, as opposed, heading to the neighbor's house. We hadn't even slept one night in the house yet, and my sidewalk is already damaged. Calling, trying to get it figured out, nobody could get it figured out. It took 6 months of approvals for somebody to come out with a jackhammer and break up that 3-foot section of the sidewalk.
6 months.
6 months. Because I remember it being hot as hell outside when they did it, because we moved in January.
Homeowners or
just the
city, or
the builders getting with the city and so on and so forth. It just wasn't important to them.
So much red tape.
Right. It just wasn't important to them. Even though I got 4 kids in my house, the neighbor got 2 kids in their house.
Right.
This lady just had a baby over here.
This is a health hazard.
Right. So people gonna be riding bikes on the sidewalk, even if I know it was a cul-de-sac, but still.
Yeah.
We don't want our kids in the middle of the cul-de-sac riding bikes at 2 and 3 years old.
Yeah.
So, but it took 6 months.
Crazy.
6 months and probably 20, 30 phone calls.
Crazy.
To get that fixed.
Something that probably took them all of 30 minutes to do, if that.
I can't tell you how bad I was about to call my pops and be like, "Hey, can you come down here so we can break this 3-foot section up?
Right.
Just fix it."
And then they might have fined you for that.
Oh yeah. Hell, out there they probably would have tried to arrest me.
Yeah.
Destroying public property.
Nuts. So what about crime? Where's crime on your list? Was that one of the things you? Because we haven't mentioned crime yet.
I didn't, because I believe that if you institute the things that we talked about, because nobody wants to address why crime exists. Nobody wants to address why certain things happen.
Let's get into it.
So I believe that if you give everybody a fair and equal opportunity, and I'm just gonna say it, it don't matter who you are, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it doesn't matter. If you give people the opportunities, now there are going to be some people,
for sure,
that
you'll never rid the world of crime.
But if you give people an opportunity, things like, just random, carjackings or burglaries and robberies, why would I go rob a store?
If you're content.
If I'm content and I have an equal opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Now, I might not make as much as my neighbor does. My neighbor might make $100,000. I might make 70. But if I'm making 70 grand and then my wife is making 50, 60, also $100,000.
We're okay.
We're good.
We're okay.
So but if everyone has that opportunity.
Yes.
And keep in mind, those that are listening, we have not touched on mental health or any of those things. Those things are assumed to be integrated into everything that we're doing. We're not going to just leave people out to dry.
Oh, absolutely not.
So, there's so much more we could have done. We could talk 3 hours about it, especially him and I. We could talk 3 hours about this subject.
For sure.
So, there's a lot more that goes into this. So for those saying, well, how come you didn't talk about this or that? It's because we didn't want to go too deep into the weeds.
No. We want to keep it interesting. We don't want to bore people with the minute details. and we just can't cover every issue on the spectrum. But so yeah, I agree with you 100%, and I think we spoke about this recently that a lot of crimes are crimes of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
So if everyone has enough and there are no have-nots, and I'm not naive, some people are just knuckleheads. Some people are going to do stupid stuff. I get that. But generally speaking, if there are no have-nots, that would reduce crime a lot. And I think that's something that's not spoken about here in America is the reason we have so much crime is because there are so many people who are have-nots. Poverty is such a issue.
But you know how many people would disagree with you right now?
Oh, I know a lot would.
And it's crazy.
I know a lot because they'll tell you that stupid
Right.
ass pull yourself up from your bootstrap line.
Think about how many people you and I grew up with that was just wilding. A lot of them did it because they didn't have any structure. They didn't have a job.
Right.
They didn't have any path to the people that was always walking around asking for
Nothing to do.
Right. Walking around asking for $5.
Yeah.
I mean, we know the people. We could probably rattle off 5 to 10 people right now who was just out there walking around being a menace to society.
Mm-hmm.
They had, like you said, there was nothing to do.
There's nothing for them to do. But if you had a good job to go to,
Right,
where you know I'm going to be compensated fairly, I know I'm going to be able to go buy my family some food and we going to have clothes to wear and we got a nice home. There's no need for me to go mess with somebody else.
think about how many times you and I, whether it be together or with other people, and jump in a car and go to the city,
Mm-hmm.
not bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Great America.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the mall, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the flea market out in Alcid.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't think twice about it. We know cats that hardly ever left our 13 block radius.
For sure. And still there to this day.
To this day.
Still there. But I know somebody's out there saying, well, crime ain't just financial. What about rape? What about murder?
Yeah.
Okay, well, like I said, you can never get rid of all crime. So, in my country, there are no jails. If you get caught committing a crime, you're out. We're going back to the 15th, 16th century. You're exiled. Depending on your crime, could be a year, could be 5 years, could be forever. But that's how I'm doing it. You're gone. I just don't want you here. Because when you go out, in my mind,
no, I hear you.
In my mind, this place is so nice that when you go out into the other countries, you're going, man, I done messed up.
Yeah, for sure.
I got to get back in, and this time I'm going to act right. If you're a repeat offender, yeah, then your exile is going to be doubled, whatever. But yeah, no jail. You're just getting out because we don't want you here. We don't want you here. We don't need it here. We're trying to be a peaceful, loving community where everyone carries their own weight. So if you want to be a knucklehead, you got to go.
Now, I will say this, in my country, if you are a rapist or a murderer, you might get exiled to the cemetery. Boy, one thing I can't stand is somebody that has to take advantage of a woman. And man, but yeah, again, we could talk about this for 3 hours.
Yeah.
We're going to transition here in a second.
All right. So as I was saying earlier, we may have to revisit this. I'm pretty sure there are some things that we missed, but I think we've hit on the main points that we wanted to cover. So with that, I mean, we're already like over 50 minutes into this podcast. So we're going to skip our current events rant. We're going to skip our RART, and we're going to move right into 5 on the Black hand side, which is our review of a Black movie. And the movie, the movie that we chose this week to discuss is War of the Worlds, the Amazon Prime edition, starring Ice Cube and Eva Longoria. And what's your boy who was Agent Phil Coulson, whatever his
He'll
real
always
name
be
is.
Phil Coulson.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, bro. Tell me what you think.
So yesterday, I was laying down and I just pulled it up looking for something to watch. And I kid you not, I pulled up Prime and I sat on it and I just stared at Ice Cube's face.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not joking, for like 50 seconds. And I was like, should I watch this, man? This thing got a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've already been told that it's horrible. And I decided to watch it. So I watched the first like 45 minutes.
Yep.
And then paused it. And because I had to make a run and do something. And I text you and I said, hey man, I mean, I ain't mad at the plot, but the acting is bad.
Yes.
And then I watched the rest of it. And the last 35 to 40 minutes completely erased the first 44 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at the plot. I'm not mad at the like you were just saying a second ago, was stealing of the data.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting twist on it.
All of that. But this might have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The acting in this movie is top tier. The acting in this movie makes Kane from Menace to Society look like Denzel Washington.
Whoa.
And that says a lot.
That says a whole lot.
Cube was horrible.
Yes.
His son was horrible.
Yes.
They made Agent Phil Coulson into a bad actor. I can't stress enough. This dude had access to every camera at the snap of a finger without any warrants. Well, I'm sorry. Nope. Let me back up. He had access to everything. Nobody was monitoring him. He was monitoring everybody.
Right.
But somehow the FBI had to wait for him to drop a file to kick in the door of a suspected cyber terrorist. While Q then accessed Starbucks. The cameras on the highway. Cameras in the apartment building.
His daughter's job.
Her lab.
Right.
Like everything.
Yeah.
But yet he wasn't on social media. He didn't, he didn't know how to do this or do that.
Right.
And don't get me started on the ludicrous line.
Well, this is what I didn't and like you said, the stealing the data, that was cool. It was different. I'm like, okay, that's cool. What I didn't particularly like, and again, I'm not naive. I understand that, yes, the government does watch us to a certain extent, but I didn't like the implication that government has access to all of this stuff with no warrants. That I for the conspiracy theorists, that's what I didn't like, is I kind of felt like it was pandering to the conspiracy theorists about how much access that the government has to your Twitter account, I'm sure they do to a certain extent, but I don't think one guy is just sitting there watching, and is able to tap into whatever he was tapping into, like you said, the lab, the highway cameras, etc. It's just like I don't think that that's realistic.
He was commandeering drones.
Yeah.
As a DHS employee.
Yeah.
Not the military.
Yeah.
He gave access to his son, and his son started randomly blowing up aliens.
Yeah.
With drone missiles.
Yeah.
Do you know how ridiculous that is? Do you know how ridiculous it was for his future son-in-law to take a drone and deliver a thumb drive? Now, keep in mind, one of the things I thought that was hilarious was he actually had to go into Amazon and buy it in order for him to send a drone. What?
Yeah. The other thing that I found ridiculous is your daughter is a doctor and she's dating an Amazon delivery driver?
Now,
yes, that seems a little bit uneven. I'm not saying it's unrealistic, but it's kind of unrealistic.
But I think the reason it obviously was on Prime and they kept mentioning monitoring people's Amazon inboxes.
Yeah.
I got the symbolism. It's kind of like movies back in the 90s where a Pepsi can would be positioned.
Yeah. Promoting their own brand. Yeah.
So I get that.
But why couldn't he be an Amazon exec? As I'm like, so
And
you're
he was goofy as
and he
hell.
was goofy, but you're a doctor, and I'm guessing that you're doing some really important work based on your title.
Well, they
And
told us that she was basically world renowned.
yeah, and you're dating a guy that probably makes minimum wage, maybe a little bit more than minimum wage. I'm like, this just don't make it just in the real world, I just don't think it would happen. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. I know athletes date down and no one frowns upon it. Rarely do you see a woman date down. I
Yes,
mean, it just is what it is, women. I'm sorry, but women don't usually date down.
nah.
If they do, it's still comparable. It's close.
Mhm.
You ain't you ain't gonna be Alicia Keys and you dating some IG Instagram model type dude.
No.
You're gonna be like, nah, hell no. Unless you're Star Jones. But we all know how that worked out. That's a whole nother story. Sorry. Sorry, Star.
Yeah, so, I mean, the movie itself, I mean, did I hate that I watched it? Not really. I mean, it passed the time, but I laughed more than I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I just thought that Eva Longoria should have died 4 different times in the
Mhm.
movie, and she didn't.
Mhm.
Cube should have died twice.
Mhm.
His son should have died, what, twice?
Mhm.
Dude, he commandeered a Lexus, I mean, a Tesla,
Mhm.
and just was telling the Tesla, "No, don't go. No, the hospital
Mhm.
full."
Mhm.
Like, Cube knew. He had access to find out if the beds were full or empty.
Mhm.
So you telling me the alien invasion just happened 2 minutes ago, and every hospital in the city is already full?
Right.
2 minutes.
Right. Right.
Your daughter didn't know that she shouldn't pull that thing out of her leg,
Right.
that she would probably bleed to death?
Right.
She's a doctor.
Right.
Now, I know she's not a medical doctor. She's a doctor.
She's a doctor.
She's not
Right.
stupid.
Right. And she's also pregnant.
And she's pregnant. And then at the end, y'all couldn't get all 4 actors together
Right.
to take a picture in the park. You had to CGI a fake baby shower?
Right. Right. It and again, to me, I felt like this was red meat for the conspiracy theorists. And I felt like it was something that Amazon just pushed out like, yeah, let's just go ahead and knock this out. Without like really getting into the let's make sure we got a good story here. It was like, it's entertaining enough. Let's push it out. We got Ice Cube, we got Evil and Gore, we got a couple of big names.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and just dump it.
We went from Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning.
Good movie. Even though it had its issues,
Yeah,
but still
yeah.
good.
And random guest stars from elite actors to this.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I don't know. I could go on and on. Like I said, I know it sounds like I'm mad that I watched it, but it passed the time. But I was just, I don't think it's a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'd give it at least a 40. But I guess 2% is better than what it was, because it was sitting at 0 for like the first week it came out.
I don't want to be the critique that just like this is because someone put some time and effort into
Mhm.
this. So and it got greenlit. So I'm not going to diss it and say that it's a horrible movie, but I will say that I would be reluctant to watch this again.
Oh yeah, I never.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think this is worth a second watch. So I think it's safe to say, based on everything we've said, that this does not get a high five on the black hand side.
Nah, you can't even slip me some skin on this one. It's-
Ah! Oh man, sorry. Sorry, man. It's not my I don't want to be that harsh critique, but sometimes we just gotta call a spade a spade.
the acting, like I said, the acting, Cube's reactions
Yeah.
to life altering events blew my mind.
Q's performance was Doughboy in a government job. I just can't sum it up any other way. It was Doughboy or Fudge in a government job.
Nah, that's Tyrone Biggums as president. That's what that was. That was Tyrone Biggums. No, that was Tyrone Biggums on Fear Factor in the Chappelle Show.
Yeah, it was just like, bro, I don't think you would behave in this manner if this was your job, if this was your career. I don't think you would behave. I don't think you would carry yourself this way. I just don't.
Now the first 10 minutes,
Yeah,
it was like, oh, okay, we're setting it up.
yeah,
He's doing his job. He's looking at this camera,
yeah,
monitoring. You're like, all right, cool. Who's this lady that he's monitoring? It's like, oh, that's his daughter.
yeah.
Man, that fool hijacked her fridge.
Right,
She ain't had no food.
right,
You ain't had no protein. How you know that?
right. He knows what she ate. That's the crazy part. And that's way too nosy, by the way, too.
Man.
Right. Your kid would be like, bro, what? I'm grown. What's up with you?
Look, I know my daughter loved me to death, but if I was like that, she'd be like, Dad, look, just call me next week sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be blocked on everything.
Yeah, that's way too nosy, man. And they tried to explain it away with, the mom being dead or whatever, but still, that's way as overprotective as I was as a parent. I don't think I was that bad. I mean, come on.
No.
Yeah, that's going above and beyond on steroids.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, so all right, y'all. I think we've crossed the hour mark on this podcast, so I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We want to thank you guys
Absolutely
for tuning in. We are on Blue Sky, even though we're not really active on Blue Sky yet. I think we're on IG.
Yeah, we're on IG.
We're on IG. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Podbean. So you can find us there. And we're going to have a YouTube page, probably by the time we do our next episode, where we're going to try and download all of the previous episodes. So just keep tuning in, y'all. We getting there.
Yeah, we working on it.
We working on it. We getting there. So again, I just want to take this time to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm 6 Mil, keeping it trill.
It's your boy KG.
We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.